Hello guys, my name is Vishal. In this video, let's have a look on appearance panel in Adobe Illustrator. What is appearance? That's the first thing we should understand. Then later it is better to understand appearance panel in detail. First, say when I create a particular object, let's say I'm using this polygon and then drawing something here. The appearance of this particular object is like defined by a fill and a stroke, which I can alter to something like this or maybe something like this, and then and the appearance is basically this, the fill, the stroke, what you have got here. So most of the objects which we create will have some or the other appearance in it, and then this appearance has to be controlled and given an extra level of control to it can make wonders to the result. And I just wanted to explore that part in this particular video. So if I go to this window and then we have this panel called appearance panel, just open it and you should able to see here there's something which is very simple to understand. Okay, when I don't select anything, it shows up no selection here, but when I select this one, you should able to see it is path and there's a style which has been showing up here. Okay, and for example, if I draw a rectangle and then change the color to yellow and then red stroke and then reduce the stroke value, then you should able to see that the stroke can be applied to anything like that, and then you get that similar appearance which has been given from that. Very similarly, I can drop this appearance to that object and you get that result onto that particular object. Let me try selecting a text here and then see what appearance that the object defines. As you could see, there is no fill or no stroke visible here, but when I select this object and click the fill, then you get the fill object and then you can generally change it to anything you wanted here. Okay, as I told you, I can drop any particular style and then you get the result onto this new objects what you have created. So that's very simple to understand. Now what is more about this particular appearance is you get more control over the results, and then the results can be sometimes outstanding also. So let's explore that part of the appearance panel here. Let's explore the appearance panel by creating something. So I'm going to create a rectangle and then set up a size of 1920 by 1080 pixels. This gives me a rectangle of the size of the canvas. I'm just setting in the center, and you should able to see there is a gradient which was already there is applied to the background. And if you could see the appearance panel, the fill is with the gradient here. Okay, so you can go to the gradiency and then you can start exploring more colors. But the thing is, whenever you're doing it, make sure that you have selected it. This generally happens with me a lot. Even though you don't select, you see some options and you think that you're doing something, but actually you're doing nothing because you haven't selected anything like that. So select the panel here, select the rectangle here and make sure that the path is selected, and then you start exploring the colors. Okay, okay, that should be fine. And I've got some background here. I'm going to select the object, lock the selection, that's good. And now I'm going to select the rectangle here. Okay, and draw it in the center like that, and then align it. And again, if you go to the appearance, you got something filled here. So you can start giving more third dimension to your object. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the appearance of this by selecting the fill layer, go to the path, and then start giving some colors. Okay, so I'm giving a gradient and putting a value of 90 here. Okay, and then I'm going to select the color of blue and then dark blue. Okay, hold alt and then drag a copy of it, and then it should look like you have okay, so that looks a pretty good gradiency. And you can add more number of copies to this particular object. I'll show you how. You need to select that particular fill object, and then you can click this button and it makes a copy of it. Okay, and this time you can generally change the color. Okay, I'm just making the color to white and then making things black here, like that. Okay, so you should be able to see that color. Now this layer and this layer are one on top of each other. So again, it's like layer of effects you're applying onto your object here. So select that, click the opacity, and then change the blending mode to screen, and that adds an extra layer. And then you can just control the opacity. You can be more precise the way it's looking, and you can add a lot of more elements to it. Okay, so let me select this fill, again make a copy, or you can just say add a new fill, and that will add a new fill here. Okay, now select that particular thing and then choose a central gradient and put it here, and I'm trying to put some aqua color. Okay, and I can use the edit gradient and then scale that. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm just trying to scale it, and I want to make it more bright. Okay, that's an extra layer, and then you can select this particular object, the last color swatch, and make the opacity of 0. So that became transparent and it's adding that extra effect. Okay, that gives a third dimension to this button, like more halo and then something inside in it, all that stuff. And now I'm going to add the stroke to it, but again, if you could see, the stroke is already there here, and then you can give a color to it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a stroke below. Select that, sorry, I will select add a stroke here, so that becomes a stroke which is below here. Okay, and increase the stroke thickness and check. That's the point. Again, I do this mistake again and again. So stroke, put it on the bottom, increase the stroke value. You should see that stroke came to this button here. Okay, 22 points thickness. I'll put a value of 10. You should be able to see that nice stroke coming to this. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the stroke and then give it a gradient. Okay, and then edit the gradient of this. I'm selecting this and then putting in the middle, I just wanted the copy of this happening here. I've rotated the stroke and you should be able to see that nice edge glow, and that's giving me the bevel effect to the model. That's good. I just wanted to add something on top of it in the text. Okay, maybe you can also give this effect to this. So I'm going to add a fill layer which is going to be on the bottom, and add a drop shadow. Again, make sure that you have selected it. Add a fill, it's on the bottom, and then drop shadow. So you should get that nice third dimension. I'm reducing the offset and then increasing the blur. Okay, so that's how appearance works. And what if I've got ready-made styles, I can just directly apply to it. Let's say I go to this window and then open the graphic styles here. We have new graphic style. I'm going to select that and click this button, and you should be able to see that graphic style has been added to it. So what that actually means, let's say if I have created something which doesn't have anything of that sort, okay, just I need to select that and click the button, and the effect what I have created is been applied to it. Okay, so that's the benefit of saving or creating an effect and keeping with you and applying it again and again on your future works. So appearance and graphic styles, okay, that's where you need to work with. Let me try the text here, and on text we'll see the appearance. So for that, again, I'm going to type appearance here. I just change the font. I don't have too many fonts with me, so I'm going to select that. Okay, and if I open the appearance window, okay, you should see there is no fill or no stroke, but the text is still visible. You should remember that when you have the text, make sure that the color fill is none, and then you add a fill from the appearance, and then that should give you the appearance of it. So I'm going to choose create something little bit on golden side, so not struggling too much for the gradiency of the golds. I will just go to window, swatch libraries, and then you have gradients, and then you have metals. Go there and then just click the metals what you wanted here on the model. So this should be fine. Okay, but I'll edit that gradient with the gradients window here, and then rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, that gives you nice gradiency. And I'm going to delete that and then just put it like that, and then give that nice golden saturation. Okay, and maybe you can give something like that which gives more glossy effect if you wanted, like that. Just you can keep it bit low, intense comparing to the top. So that looks fine at this level. Okay, so I'm going to select that text and I'm going to add slight depth to it. So I'm going to select that fill. Okay, you can make a copy of this particular fill, just need to click that button and this gives a copy, or you can click this button, it creates a fill with the same previous gradiency. So choose that and then just give depth by applying this transform effect. So I'm going to choose a pixel value of 1 and then copies. As I keep increasing the copies, I get the depth here. Okay, that's really important. So I'm going to do that and achieve the depth what I wanted. So I'm going to select and then change the gradiency of this to 0. Okay, or maybe I can put it to 90, but okay, just try to get that tinge. Okay, that looks nice. Just what we will do is we'll give a stroke which can elevate the text here. So I'm going to select this fill. Above that I'm going to give a stroke, but make sure that you have selected it, and then I'm increasing the stroke. You should be able to see that stroke pretty good, and then apply the gradiency here. Okay, you can pick any gradients you wanted here, just need to select that and do that. I'm just keeping this stroke very thin, that gives you a nice third dimension. So you can always go to gradient and then start controlling the gradient there. That looks nice. Okay, so lastly I'm going to add a shadow. So go to the appearance again, the last layer what we have got, you can make a copy of it and select stylize and then put a drop shadow. I'm putting a opacity of somewhere 70 or 60. I'm just checking what works, and there you go, you got that nice drop shadow. I'll just try to reduce the distance. And then say okay. Okay, you should see that shadows, that gradients make it look more third dimension, and you can create these kind of layer styles in appearances. As I told you, you can go to window, bring gradient styles, and then select add that gradient style. Okay, so next time when you are trying to recreate it, you need not struggle all that what we have right now tried. Let's say I'll just type. Okay, I just type Illustrator and then change the font type. I'll choose the bold one. Okay, let me see this effect. That looks good. Let me try this one. That also looks nice. So let's try to complement these two effects. I'm using the blue and then align it with the align tool. You can add as many as layers into it and make it more what you wanted them to look like. Okay, there are so many styles. This is more like glossy and 3D style, but there are vector styles where you can make it look more rugged, simple. So it's up to you. Okay.